Hello, I am Jean-Christophe Nouveau, Product Marketing Manager for Collection Management, and I'm today with Frédéric Sanchez, our Product Strategist for Collection Management, and with Olivier Raymond, Partner, Digital Advocate for Super Banking Software. First, I would like to thank you to attend this session dedicated to the future of collection. We wanted to share with you a vision of the way the collection management will evolve in the next few years, and the different ways we think that can be taken. We have commissioned a study to IITE Novarica on that topic, the collection management, the future of collection management, and I would like first to share the results with you. So I will start this presentation with a summary of the results of this study, and then I will let my colleagues, Frédéric and Olivier, comment and share their vision of the future of collection and tell us the impact it can have on the collection tools. We wanted to examine the current state of consumer debt collection at leading financial institutions and the appetite to digital transform the experience in the future. Then this study describes collections challenges faced by financial institutions and the transformation investment they are beginning to make. It has been informed by interviews with 10 collection executives at financial institutions headquartered in UK, France and Germany. These interviews, conducted in May and June of this year, were supplemented by a desk research. Currently, after a discussion of ongoing and anticipated challenges that are top of mind for collectors, the paper turns to technological investments and shifts in customer experience strategies. It talks about the strategies that are planned or already underway, as well as visions of the future for collection. So what did we find first? First, the current state. I don't want to come back again to the COVID crisis, but we have to see that an important impact on debt collection was anticipated. And while collectors braced for a sharp increase in delinquent accounts, customers ultimately performed better than expected. In order to illustrate this observation, we have collected some figures about the credit market. And as you can see on the slide, the data confirm the thinking of the interviewed people. As an explanation, participants consider that this deal is probably due to the various government support, at least in these three countries. But then some of them consider that a big wage could come next year due to the end of government support. Well, the fact is here, the collection executives prepare themselves to face an important increase of their activity. And they are now looking at how they can transform their processes and upgrade from outdated platforms. First, the study presents the debt collection challenges. Anticipating a perilous situation, some financial institutions have started to innovate, but collection management is rarely considered as a strategic activity and can suffer of a lack of investment, as you can see. Then this slide presents the key challenges that meet the executives. First, collectors are having an increasingly hard time making contact with delinquent customers, as debtors become more reluctant to answer phone calls or respond to letters than they were even 5 years ago. This lack of two-way engagement impedes the ability of a collector to build any sort of trusting relationship with the customer and can lead to an appropriate repayment plan. Second, interviewees all noted that their collection efforts are largely manual and resource intensive, resulting in a relatively high staffing costs. In the same time, a near constant barrier to transformation in the collections space is having to compete with other areas of the institution for limited funds. While institutions are relatively eager to invest in technologies to upgrade their marketing or origination functions, interviewees note that the difficulty in demonstrating the return on investment for collection, and then the difficulty to get funds. To finish about this chapter, the analyst noticed that technology collectors currently use what they describe as antiquated, old-fashioned, a series of obsolete green screen and reminiscence of the 90s. In the other hand, additional challenges in the collection of consumer debts are actually helping collection executives make a strong case in their institutions for the need to transform. What about the goals? We have seen that outdated technology, customer engagement struggles, insufficient insights and personalization, and difficulties competing for limited investment within the institutions have long been problems. So collection executives are building off their pandemic pivot successes. Three main goals have been identified: obtain a better customer engagement, reinforce customer self-service opportunities, and personalize the client journey. It's interesting to notice that these three goals meet a more general purpose: develop a customer-centric approach. Collection management wasn't a natural candidate to this prioritization. Traditionally, it's file-centric. But it's now invited to place the customer in the center of the process. How will we do that? We just talk about goals, let's talk about strategy. As we just said, at a high level, institutions investing in the digital transformation of their collection business have three key goals in mind. These investments center on communication that aligns with customer preferences, automation to increase efficiency, and crafting intelligent customer journeys. Of course, first of all of these transformation goals, collectors have to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations and to conduct collections activity in an ethical manner. As it becomes both an institutional desire and a regulatory imperative for collections function to take a more consumer-centric approach that takes fair treatment into account, many of these technologies investment take on a greater urgency. Let's detail each axis of development. So first, better customer engagement. The first goal is to provide a better customer experience, especially as it relates to consumer communication and engagement. Institutions are increasingly seeing the value in expanding the number of potential channels of communication to align the method of communication with customer preferences and reduce the number of contact attempts needed. In turn, this effort to engage with customers through their preferred channel can increase the odds of customer retention, which is an increasingly important proposition since the cost to acquire a customer is high. While most institutions are in the beginning stages of implementing communication that go beyond phone calls and letters, those that have experimented with SMS messages, emails, and other channels cite promising results. For example, one respondent reported a 10% increase in payments after his institution started using push notifications through its mobile apps. So, in addition, the use of these emerging channels also allows the institution to reduce their outbound dialing costs, with one study participant noting a decline of 30 to 40% in the use of this resource-intensive channel. Second priority is automation and self-service. The second goal entails automating basic tasks and as well as providing ways for certain customers to take action on their own through self-service portals and other means like mobile apps. Of course, automation relies on efficiency gains by reducing the number of people working directly and then reducing the high human capital cost brought about this manual process. Institutions are looking at ways to automate any non-complex or transactional tasks, and study participants note a reduction in operational overhead as much as 50% as a result. This automation of many manual tasks allows the agent to to handle more accounts and focus their efforts on resolving more complex cases that involve particularly vulnerable customers or those with unusual circumstances. Sole Priority is a personalized journey. In order to know to best communicate with the customer and whether an agent or self-service approach is appropriate, collectors need to obtain relevant insights. Many of the study participants noted the importance of uncovering early indicators of likely problems and assisting customers before their accounts move to a collection phase. The need for artificial intelligence to pick up on data points and patterns that might otherwise be overlooked was mentioned by several study participants. But the use of AI techniques is not yet widespread within the collection functions at the institutions. Elements such as previous account performance, current financial circumstances, other behaviors can be incorporated to derive necessary insights to develop a more tailored view of each customer. Another area in which better data analysis could play a role is an analysis of a customer's income and expenses, which forms the base of a payment plan. So close to this consideration, of course, the ability to use open banking to facilitate the inflow of data of the customer's income and assets from multiple financial institutions may hold particular promise in reducing the time and expenses associated with the analysis. So what conclusion can we have about this quick presentation? As you can see, interviewees consider that a lot of work remains to be done, but the options are multiple, are here. I would like to conclude this quick review with a quote from an executive who stated, "We must have advantage of where we are in the cycle to make a stronger case for technology investment. Time is come." Then, after the overview of the result of this very interesting study, I would like to let the floor to Olivier Raymond, who will share with us the way we work on that topic. Olivier, I let you the floor.
Hi everybody, I am Olivier Raymond and I am the digital advocate in Sopra Banking Software for the French market. I will now speak of market drivers, and as you can see on this slide, there is 3 main trends, and each of them has to be considered in order to engage an effective debt recovery plan. The first market driver is about customer demand. In fact, the customer demand can be resumed with this well-known expression, digital first, but not only. The problem is that digital is embryonic in collection markets. Less than 1% of banks has a digital process for that. And as you know, digital device is the channel that crushes all the other in financial services. As an example, in France, in 2020, 78% of the population make operation through web banking or mobile banking. But in the collection market, there is no use of digital device. And this is very regrettable because 60% of customers would prefer to deal with debt digitally. And why? Because digital aims to bring better customer experience. As an example, he manages by himself his planning, his way to answer, his recovery plan, and of course, he can be informed. But when a customer demand is not digital, it's referred to a case where his situation is complex and when he needs human help to be better understand to solve his debt. In this case, his agent can engage with him a real added value relationships with real advice and real support. These human relationships will in fact represent only 20% of customer case, and all the other can be done on a pure digital channel. The second market driver is treating customer fairly. This driver is very important due to the social role that a bank has to carry. When I am talking about social role, I mean that digital channel can support that. As an example, it will permit that everyone is considered the same way in a nearly same process. There is no discriminating factors, and digital provides auditability and consistency. And this social role also means education and information, raising awareness of people just to pay the debt. Well, I think that digital channel is a very powerful tool that really helps managing customer back to their financial health. And the last but not the least market driver is cost saving. Of course, digital is a key word for cost saving. As we all know, the impact of COVID crisis means a huge increase of volumes for collection departments. Digital self-care will reduce the impact of these new volumes. With no digital, a lot of agents in the banks will be involved to recover money by phone. But of course, they could be focused on some more challenging case. And I come back to the educational side. If the customer have an app where he can have more information, where he can understand the importance of paying his debt, he will probably encourage to pay it more quickly. And this is a key point in cost saving. Less banking agents mobilization and a quicker recovery process. If digital is a key word for market driver, the trends for digital collection are the 3 points shown on this slide. The first one is to detect vulnerability and treating fairly customers. But what does that mean? It means that inclusion is now a priority, and it's due to the evolution of the regulation. This regulation is referring to TCF, which is Treating Customer Fairly, which is a European directive, and this regulation is based on the 6 points such as a clear communication, a suitable advice, managing claims, complaints, and change. And there is, of course, other points. But it means also that a bank has to detect those kind of population. It means that the bank needs to have an advanced artificial intelligence and machine learning platform for behavior analysis and trigger indicators to detect those population. It means that the bank has to adapt their collections process depending on the kind of population they have. The second trend is to humanize debt collections. This point is a major issue for the bank. It consists in promoting the brand and the image of the bank on the market. With the COVID crisis, there will be a new population in recovery. This new population has never been yet in a recovery situation. The ability of their bank to support them in this difficult moment will be crucial for them. Banks have a lot to gain in that, but they can also lose a lot. And this will depend a lot on their ability to humanize their debt collection. The third trend is to develop pedagogical supports. But what does that mean? It means that the bank has a role for education. Concretely, it means that the bank should develop a full digital information platform. But in the other hand, the bank also has to empower its agents. Concretely, it means that the bank has to equip agents to advise and educate customers, but also provide a complete view of the client situation and also provide advanced tools for agents such as loan consolidation.
Yes, thank you, Oliver. What the levers to this type of trends? Of course, using machine learning to define customer profile or segmentation in line to address any situation with predicted or predefined scenarios. Of course, for a better anticipation of the financial vulnerability, but also to have a better knowledge of customer habits. And finally, in line to propose different journey and UX in line with this customer profile. Artificial intelligence can also support the debt collection teams to propose the best next action in link to the customer situation and the history of its customer segmentation. In fact, a sort of intelligent or smart partner to help debt analyst during his work. After, the idea is to have defined relationships and personalization of this, to propose collection strategies adapted to the context and customer segmentation. It can be based on the customer profile, but I think not only, we can also take in live information about his actual situation and circumstances. It can be stress, anxiety, illness linked to the COVID or not. And the idea is to use not just static scoring, but dynamic scoring to adapt strategy to this information. What is also important is to take into account the customer preferences in the way you communicate with them. And when you speak about communication, necessary, it's a multi-channel approach. So we speak about omni-channel communication because the idea is to use all the channels available and mix them. You send an SMS and you can receive an email, you give a call, etc. This can be automatic or manual depending on the strategy employed. And of course, the digital channel can be helpful to resolve rapidly and ethically a bad situation. Our solution, the name is Collection Management, is configurable to match the exact bank requirements. The parameterization of the software consists of the definition and the implementation of recovery workflow for each stage of the process. This recovery workflow is in fact an action plan. It can be linear, but also event-driven process. And the next action can be defined automatically upon the execution of the preceding action. But the idea is to have in mind the different needs to do collection. The first is to get in touch with the client to find a solution. To do this, you must be able to use all the channels that are available to us today. It can be SMS, email, letter, call, digital portal. The idea behind is to be able to have access to all of this channel and to be able to exchange in a simple and fluid way with his clients. And I think digital channel, it's a great way to address the customer during early warning or area, but after you have to have a stronger core collection. The second needs it's to be able to automate the collection process. And automation, that is to say that finally I have a number of recovery steps that can be automated by an expert system. The first is decided to create a file. So to say, I want to transfer this client in recovery. Then after you have to assign this file to an organization. And when we speak about organization in collection, it's a recovery department, and beyond this department, a debt service team or an individual analyst. It is also possible to have access to different partners, and it can be external partner of the bank, such as bailiff, lawyer, but also debt collection agency or investigation companies. And finally, we will allocate the collection strategy that has been defined by the company, but it is aligned to the customer profile and segmentation, of course. As I said, the collection strategy can be event-driven, like a tree strategies, and by this way, the next best action is scheduled on the file. The last automated step, it's the closure of the file. So if you take a perfect axis, we can automatically create a file, allocate this file, allocate an automatic strategy, 1 raise, 2 raise, third raise, and after the third raise, checks my outstanding, it's less than a certain amount, and if so, decide to stop, write off the debt, and close the file. The third is to have a global view of the risk, and we speak about 360 degrees view. So in collection management, we will create an envelope called collection file, in which we will be attended by a number of information around the concept of main clients, commercial relationships. Under the main client, the third party will play different roles. It can be holder, co-holder, or guarantor, and then all the commitment of these clients. We have a customer-centric vision, in fact, and we will also be able to have access to the various guarantees that are borne by this commitment, can be personal or real, and possibly also their assets. And to complete this, it's also necessary to have a vision of all the documents that have been exchanged beforehand, the contracts signed, but also all the communication with the clients, and therefore that we will be able to interface collection management to a centralized EDM, electronic document management of the bank, not only to view this document, but also to bring the document sent by the recovery department. Now let's go to talk about digital channel and the added value of this. Olivier, it's your.
I'm back. On this slide, you can see an example of a MVP for digital journey on debt recovery we built. Because we really believe in the benefit, I should say the huge benefit of putting digital channel in front of your core collection system. So, you can see on this screen, on this slide, 3 samples of screenshots of the process we draw. We try to build this process as simple as possible, using all the digital tools and partnership already available on the market. I will give you 4 examples of functionality we draw for the customer journey. The first one is not a functionality, in fact, but it's a landing page. We built this landing page with a dashboard to represent for the customer the amount of his debt, but also all the detailed information on it, advice to pay it, importance for him to pay it as soon as possible, and so on. The second functionality is the callback button, the famous callback button. We thought it was very important to introduce this button as soon as possible, so we put it on the landing page. The third functionality is the way a customer can manage by himself the way he can split his payments. In this case, he can visualize on the screen everything online, with graphics, with the amounts, plus the interest he has to pay. And the last functionality represents the way he can choose his means of payments. So if you want to have more information about this MVP, you can contact us and we can make to you a demonstration. Thank you.
Our roadmap key driver, the idea is to improve experience, not only focus on debtor relationships, using multi-channel communication, and on this topic experience, digital is the first journey, I think. And that the idea is maybe to delivering an unified experience to the different actors. It can be creditor, collector, customer, and partner. After, it's to add value on the data for the best decision quality. We speak about this dynamic scoring model, next best action, but also use open banking data to have more information on your customer. It can be, as I said, drive collection strategy with core and analytic. After, to enlarge efficiency by predicting customer behavior using risk engine, and also optimize the UE in line with the different profile of the customer. Of course, it's necessary to be compliant. on the different market we are, based on the different regulation in core markets, but also to have a vision of the reporting more in this moment, to have a global reporting, because we are a large group. We use also collection, and the idea is to have a common and a global reporting. And the last topic, it's technology. Of course, explore more in detail the powerful of machine learning, EA, and here it's difficult to not speak about cloud and managed services like ASP or SaaS approach. But not just to say I'm cloud ready or I'm cloud native, but to benefits of the solution of this type of delivering, to be of course more mobile, because there is a new business model implemented, and the crisis accelerate this teleworking, working in different sites, and the necessity to have access where you are on the solution, but also to be more flexible and scalable. It is important to this, and it can be also reduce the cost and a better availability of the solution. And what is also is important in a world interconnected is to simplify the connection with the ecosystem, and to use external analysis, to risk analysis, for example, but also to experiment new model of intelligence. And in this case, artificial intelligence is omnipresent. I think that's all the topic we managed during our roadmap to improve and to have more experience on these different topics.
Now I would like to present you a testimony of Flora Volke, one of our customers. She's responsible for the collection management in the BRED, a French bank, and she will tell us the way she used today collection management, the way she will use it tomorrow, and the way that inclusion can change the way she works. So I have the pleasure to introduce you Flora Volke. I hope that you will enjoy this testimony.
Flora Volke, je suis directeur du recouvrement métropole à la BRED. La BRED, c'est une des banques du groupe BPCE. C'est à peu près 1,2 milliard d'euros de PNB pour 270 millions de résultats nets, 1,3 million de clients en France. Donc c'est une banque qui est présente à la fois sur la banque de détail en métropole et en Outre-mer, présente également en zone Pacifique et en Asie du Sud-Est au travers de filiales. Et c'est aussi une banque de grande clientèle, une banque privée, une salle des marchés et une société de gestion ou une compagnie d'assurance notamment. Donc c'est une banque très complète. Je pense qu'un des enjeux principaux pour nous, c'est d'essayer d'exploiter au mieux nos données, nos data clients, pour pouvoir trouver la solution adaptée et personnalisée aux clients. C'est-à-dire que certains clients ont juste un incident de paiement parce qu'ils ont oublié un virement, parce qu'ils ne sont pas occupés de leur compte. Et peut-être qu'un parcours digital suffit à leur trouver une solution, à leur rappeler qu'il faut remettre de l'argent pour payer leur échéance de prêt ou changer la date de leur échéance de prêt, des choses très simples. Et ça repart. D'autres clients ont besoin d'accompagnement plus poussé. Aujourd'hui, on n'est encore pas suffisamment outillé pour vraiment pouvoir faire ces parcours personnalisés parce qu'on n'exploite pas suffisamment encore les données qu'on a sur les comptes et les comportements clients. Donc je pense qu'on a un enjeu là-dessus qui nous permettra aussi d'optimiser nos moyens, puisque comme je disais, aujourd'hui on met un conseiller face à chaque client. Malgré tout, c'est un budget, ça coûte. Et c'est quelque chose sur lequel on pourrait demain concentrer nos forces sur les clients qui en ont vraiment besoin et un petit peu moins sur les autres, avec plus de digital, plus d'accompagnement en ligne pour ceux qui préfèrent aussi ce canal-là. Mais ça passe par une bonne exploitation des données pour bien identifier le client au bon endroit, avec le bon circuit et le bon conseiller. Pour moi, il faut le penser parcours client. et vraiment s'adapter au client et à sa situation. Il faut mettre en place les outils, il faut que les outils soient ouverts et disponibles, mais pour qu'ils soient adaptés à un besoin client qui réponde à un besoin, il faut d'abord avoir réfléchi à ce besoin. Il ne suffit pas de dire au client, vous pouvez rembourser votre crédit avec une carte bleue en ligne sur le site de la BRED pour que le client le fasse et pour que ça trouve une solution pérenne. Parce que si c'est pour qu'il rembourse une échéance avec une carte bleue ailleurs, mais que sa situation ne soit pas assainie et que 2 mois après, il soit à nouveau en impayé, ça ne nous aide pas, ni nous, ni lui. Donc il faut vraiment s'adapter, voilà, que l'outil soit disponible, oui, mais qu'on ait réfléchi d'abord au parcours et aux besoins du client. Je crois que c'est vraiment ça, la BRED, vraiment on insiste sur ce côté où on dit la banque sans distance et pas la banque à distance. C'est pas la même chose. Quel que soit le canal, il faut qu'on soit proche. Les 3 axes sont extrêmement liés. Je crois qu'on ne peut pas travailler l'un sans travailler les autres. Voilà. Ensuite, je pense qu'il faut démarrer par la data. Parce qu'en fait, tout passe par la data pour faire un omnichannel efficace. Il faut avoir de la donnée client pour pouvoir gagner en efficacité, en automatisation de nos traitements. Il faut avoir la bonne donnée au bon moment, au bon endroit. Pour moi, la data est vraiment au cœur de tout. Maintenant, je pense qu'on ne peut pas déconnecter les 3. La data pour la data n'a pas d'intérêt, n'a d'intérêt que si on l'exploite, à la fois pour améliorer le service client et pour améliorer notre efficacité. Alors, ça peut être une solution pour avoir une meilleure vision des difficultés du client et de sa situation financière. Ça simplifie le partage d'informations entre nous et le client grandement, ça, c'est sûr. Après, je pense que ça ne suffira jamais à comprendre exactement pourquoi le client est en difficulté. On va voir qu'il a fait 3 préconsommations un peu partout, mais il faut comprendre pourquoi. Quel était son besoin, quelle était sa difficulté, s'il n'a plus de revenus, pourquoi il n'a plus de revenus. C'est des choses qu'on ne verra pas dans les outils d'open banking. On verra bien qu'il n'y a plus de revenus qui rentrent sur le compte, mais on ne saura pas pourquoi. Pour moi, à moyen terme, le recouvrement, les banques ont un vrai enjeu d'amélioration du début de parcours recouvrement, c'est-à-dire ce qu'on appelle le recouvrement commercial, donc le premier contact entre le client et son agence quand il y a une difficulté, et ensuite les parcours de recouvrement à l'amiable, parce qu'on a un vrai sujet de fidélisation de nos clients. Et tous les clients, un jour ou l'autre, peuvent avoir une difficulté passagère, et à ce moment-là, il faut que la banque soit présente, réponde. Et donc là, il nous faut de la data, des outils digitaux pour pouvoir réagir très vite et accompagner le client. Et là, on a un vrai enjeu pour le futur sur cette partie-là, qui est majeure. On est sur un marché mature en France. Des nouveaux clients non bancarisés, c'est très difficile à trouver, ça n'existe plus. Donc quand on a des clients, il faut qu'on soit là pour eux, dans tous leurs projets, dans toutes leurs difficultés. Donc pour moi, le recouvrement, il a un vrai rôle à jouer là-dessus, autant en recouvrement financier qu'en accompagnement client et en fidélisation. Ensuite, sur la partie recouvrement judiciaire, là, notre vrai sujet, c'est une amélioration de l'efficacité. Recouvrer le maximum, le plus vite possible, à moindre coût. Et donc là, on est dans des sujets d'automatisation, dans des sujets d'amélioration de nos outils pour gagner en productivité.
I hope you enjoyed this so interesting testimony from Flora Volke. I think she was very inspiring on how inclusion can be managed through a more customer-centric approach. More generally, she gave us a strong vision of how collection management processes fit in with the other processes of the bank. We are now coming to the end of our presentation and we'd like to shine the spotlight on our customers. Today, collection management, this is 100 financial institutions, 7,000 daily users, and we are present in 17 countries. We work with large banks and financial institutions. Collection management was developed for these companies. And today we work also with medium and small banks. We are proud to help organizations such as BNP Paribas or Sparda Bank or Crelan, to name a few. But we are proud to equip some of the specialists in collection management, such as Intrum. So that's the end of our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are interested in this topic, do not hesitate to register to the collection management demonstration session. that will take place on Thursday, 3:15 p.m. And in addition, you can access the complete story of the bread client with Laura Walker on the on-demand section. I wish you a good end of festival. Goodbye.